I love municipal bonds. Municipal bonds are really fun. Fun, 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 fun. Municipal bonds confidential.
Part 2 of this discussion on the President and Congress and municipal bonds should immediately raise alarm. You should be asking, wait, why is there a second discussion? Is there not a separation of powers between the federal government and state and local governments? Is not one discussion enough? The confidential reality is that the municipal bonds industrial complex, through its powerful Washington, D.C. lobby, reaches into all corridors of power and money, including those at the federal level. The federal government is very much intertwined and involved with their sub-sovereign municipal governments in many unique and special interest ways. So there will be many discussions in regards to the federal government, the President and Congress, and municipal bonds. One role that perhaps has not been traditionally thought of, but must now be seriously considered as a real-world outcome, is that of the United States President and Congress bailing out and financially rescuing bankrupt United States municipalities. There are those who flail into tantrums when any reference to the word bankruptcy is applied to U.S. municipalities. Oops. To appease, another way to say this is, the President and Congress could act to bail out and financially rescue municipalities who have extraordinarily serious budget deficits. The federal government could be that last resort with grants, loans, etc., etc. You as an investor should take this seriously. If you purchase the municipal bonds of a municipality that at some point defaults or declares bankruptcy, for whatever reason, instead of the price of your municipal bonds falling precipitously, or instead of losing all your principal investment, the President and Congress may be there to make you whole or partially whole. Put a different way, the valuation, if not actual market price of your municipal bonds, as well as full or partial principal investment return, could be completely rescued or partially saved by presidential or congressional intervention. To provide you with perspective, it is perhaps appropriate to reference Greece. There are hundreds of counties and cities and townships and districts in the United States with Greek names. There is a city in the state of New York with that name. Yes, there actually is a Greece, New York. But for our purposes here, it is appropriate to reference Greece the country. Greece is a magical, wonderful place. Ancient history, great weather, great beaches. However, in very sophisticated macroeconomic terms, Greece is a financial mess. To put Greece's financial problems into a few words, Greece spends more than it has. They have been in constant budget deficit for years. Extraordinarily serious budget deficits. And they have borrowed too much. In regards to the bonds Greece has issued, there is legitimate concern regarding interest payments and principal payback, and Greece bond prices are volatile to say the least. If you own Greece bonds, you should not be happy. But, maybe not. Because Greece can be bailed out by the European Union, and the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund, etc. The valuation and market prices, as well as the actual interest and principal payments of Greece government bonds could be or are supported by rescue actions. It could be that just the hint of a new bailout agreement can rally the market prices of Greece government bonds. U.S. municipalities, states, counties, cities, etc., in contrast, cannot access international financial institutions, like the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, before or when a default or bankruptcy occurs. Where do U.S. municipalities turn to in times of trouble? This may seem a simple question. But the answer is very complicated and multi-layered. However, it increasingly appears the ultimate bailout source is the U.S. federal government. The ultimate bailout source for U.S. municipal defaults and bankruptcies is the President and Congress. It could be argued that the expectation of presidential and congressional bailout and rescue action for its state and local governments is already presumed, or at least moving that direction. And because so, there already exists an intrinsic market price premium in the U.S. Muni Markets supporting the credit outlook and therefore the prices of U.S.-originated municipal bonds. Certainly, this could be argued since the accelerated fiscal and monetary bailouts and stimulus from the credit crisis and Great Recession of a decade ago, and since then. How much of all that federal money for states and cities from presidential and congressional action should be considered indirect or de facto bailouts and rescues? It could be asked, without all the federal money that has already come by way of budgets and multitudes of spending packages, would there not have already been mass defaults and bankruptcies experienced by U.S. municipalities and U.S. municipal bonds? All of this is something that you as an investor need to understand and remember. When all else fails, will the President and Congress intercede and bail out my municipality? Will they rescue my municipal bonds? Or at least help? And, in what is a further real-world political reality, are you in a municipality the President or Congress would want to bail out? Or are you in a state or city the President nor Congress, for whatever reason, would not really care to bail out? And even if originated within a preferred state or city, are your specific types of municipal bonds the type politicians will want to rescue? Many things for you to discuss with your financial advisors.
I love municipal bonds. Municipal bonds are really fun. Fun, 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 fun. Municipal bonds, Confidential.